How much money do you need to save for retirement? This is the question not a lot of millennials know the answer to. A lot of millennials don't even know how much money they need to save every single month. And surprisingly, not a lot of millennials even know how much they are saving a month, which kind of blows my mind. I asked a couple of my friends, how much they were saving a month, if they were saving, and what that looked like. And to my surprise, most of my friends didn't actually know how much they were saving. It's either I had friends that weren't saving at all. I had maybe 2 friends that actually knew exactly how much they were saving and had like a really concrete plan, right? But I would say the vast majority of my friends were saving, but had no clue how much they were saving, right? Because they let their accountant at their work basically set their savings fund up, basically. It just comes out of their paycheck, but they actually have no clue how much is actually going in there. They have no clue if that's going to be enough. People really have no clue how much they actually need to be saving. And that's really scary, especially for people that are 35 years old. What happens if they're not saving enough, right? By the time they realize it, it might be too late. So after asking some of my friends about their savings, this led me down this internet rabbit hole of reading different studies done about millennials and their finances. And I came across this one study from Northwestern Mutual that said that 48% of millennials did not know what was in their savings account, which kind of just blew my mind, right? And I would even take it a step further, and I would say there's a good chance that the ones that knew how much was in their savings account was because there was none, right? So that probably is also a large percentage, but it kind of just blew my mind that I was like, this is scary, because once you pass like the age of 40, it's going to be really hard to save, over almost close to $1,000 a month, right? For a lot of people. And they don't see the train wreck that's about to happen. So in the same study, 59% of millennials say that they're going to hit their financial goals within the next 5 to 10 years. I would argue that most millennials don't even have good goals to begin with, right? I don't think that most millennials are planning for the long term. I think a lot of millennials, especially the ones that I even know, only plan for the short term, right? They're looking at, can I get that $5,000 bonus? Can I get a $5,000 raise? Can I move to a job that pays me $10,000 more? And they're not looking 30, 40 years down the road at the train wreck that's going to happen because they're not putting away that small percentage of money that they need to be putting away. How much money do you need to save for retirement? Now, this is a question that, for whatever reason, we never talked about in school, right? Despite me taking a money management course, it never came up. Why is this, right? And this has led to a lot of millennials having no clue how much money they need to save. So at the very minimum, you need at least $1 million saved up for retirement. Now, depending on what age you want to retire, experts say anything from basically 65 to 67. If you want to retire earlier, this number is drastically going to be different, right? But bare minimum, you need at least $1 million by the time you're 65. So what does that look like for millennials saving right now? First thing you need to do if you're 25 to 35 years old is you need to smash that like button. If you're 25 years old right now, you kind of have it easy because you only have to be putting away $283 a month. $283 a month, and that's it. Now, if you are 30 years old, this drastically gets increased every 5 years, almost by $200. So if you're 30, you need to be saving at least $431. And if you're 35, you need to be putting away at least $662. All this was calculated off an 8% interest rate, which is pretty standard. You see a lot of financial institutions utilizing this when calculating how much you need to save for retirement, right? Now, you could end up with 10% interest rate for over the course of these next 30 years, right? But an 8% is a really good place to be calculating from. Now, if you can't hit, say, $283 a month, you can't hit $431 or $612 a month, you should be at least putting away as much as you can into something like a 401k or IRA or even mutual funds. I would say at the bare minimum, you need to be aiming for 10%. I personally recommend at least saving 15%. I think that's a lot better of a strategy and will hopefully get you in the mindset of saving, right? You don't have to wait till you start making more money to save more, right? It should be a percentage-based thing. So ratios is key. It's something that I religiously live by, period. Like I spend everything that I do is basically broken up into ratios, and this helps you not just budget now, but it also will help you budget even better once you actually start making more money. If you are a millennial and you don't know how much you are currently saving because your employer is doing it for you and you have no clue and haven't checked it, you need to find out and make sure that you're actually putting enough money away. And if you aren't saving anything, definitely start. So I'm going to leave links down in the description below to a compound interest calculator. This is key if you want to calculate anything on your own. It's a great tool. Again, just make sure that you're not using crazy ratios, right? Crazy percentages, right? Never use 12% as a baseline. That's a bad idea. I would say use always 8, even though a lot of the past couple of years, the market's averaged about 10. Right? I would say, are you still use 8? Because when the market takes a hit, takes a dip, like I think we're going to see the market take a pretty big dip due to the coronavirus here. It goes up and down. And so you need to kind of accurately plan for that. So 8% is a good rule to use on the compound calculator. So I'm going to also leave links down in the description to places where you can open up a 401k or an IRA or invest in mutual funds. I'm kind of trying to sort through right now which ones are best for beginners, right? Because some of them are just horrible, where it's like, hey, make an account and you put money in and you don't really understand where your money's going. And there are some other ones that I've been able to find that explain what you're doing with your money as you're going through the steps to do it. And I think that's great for beginners. So I'm going to be kind of making that list over the next week. So when you first watch this video, it might not be there, but it will be there. And I will try to kind of keep up with that. If something better comes out, I will definitely be adding that down in the description below. Anyways, that's it for this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Make sure you guys subscribe and smash that like button.